We're back with the Dewey Racing Series. Phase 1 of the reopening plan in Nova Scotia has started, and hopefully we'll get some real racing here in Nova Scotia soon. But there's Dewey staring at our competitors. This time, Ricky Rudd and the Tide rides back. Ryan Blaney, Johnny Benson, Chase Elliott, Dale Jr. We got a big wreck. The no-tooth cat Dewey crushes the number 10 car, Ricky Rudd, going for a ride in the Tide Ride. Ryan Blaney's been beat up a couple of times here. The Pennzoil Machine, Johnny Benson, pretty beat up last week. And again, things are just not moving here with Dewey Racing. It's more like wrestling. I thought he was done wrestling the guinea pigs. There's a big stretch. Looking to try and reach the number 12 car. Now he holds off again. Now he turns over. Oh my goodness, he hits the field. The 10 car turned around by Dewey. Now Johnny Benson gets clipped. Who else is going to take it here? Can Chase Elliott or Dale Jr. escape the madness? No, I think it's nap time. On with the show. Here's TCM Live.
Well, it's another lockdown sort of edition of Tim's Corner Live, and there's only two of us, Tim Terry, Dylan Langell here. We lost Denver Matchett, apparently.
He's busy doing stuff.
Yeah, he's busy doing stuff. So I don't know if he's going to be showing up at the end of the show. We do have a potential special guest from our crew at the end of the show. You may have to stick around to figure out who it is because we don't know if they're going to show up or not. We're winging it. It's Wednesday night. It's summer. It's like 25 degrees in Halifax. How did you enjoy your first day of coming back to life, Dylan?
I stayed in here.
Me too.
I'm still working from home for a little bit with my radio station job. But hey, you know what? A lot of places in Halifax and Nova Scotia reopened today, which is great for small business and restaurants. The next thing, you just need those dang racetracks to really reopen. But with Riverside and Scotia, they are Nova Scotia.
I did see Lake Dowsett is now offering testing as well. That was as of about an hour or so ago. So they are back in the swing of things as well. And obviously New Brunswick has kind of been a little touch and go the last couple of weeks, but we're hoping to see some racing this weekend. We'll get to more of that with our guests in just a few moments. But first of all, we saw off the top of the show, want to send our condolences to the family of Roddy MacArthur. Lost him yesterday, and you want to talk about a guy that built and promoted this sport in Sydney, in Cape Breton. Kind, gentle. There's no words to describe Roddy MacArthur. I got to chat with him a little bit in September at our Sunday in September race, and I was looking forward to calling a race or two with him this year, but obviously that's not going to happen. So our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in Sydney. And yeah, it's a sudden loss, but it's been one of those off seasons, Dylan, where we've lost a couple of really big names.
Yeah, especially in the announcer column with Cyril Hall and now with Roddy. Of course, my thoughts and prayers to them too. Only got to meet him the one time up in Sydney in September. But you know, I was reading some comments from some of the caper drivers and so many cool stories. And I think I saw a slogan that Donald Campbell wrote. Roddy would say, "What you saw on the speedway, don't try on your driveway," or something. So those cute little taglines, you know, it sticks with the race fans forever, and that will be his lasting legacy for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things. It's not going to be the same. Whoever it is, whether it's Jamie, myself, you, whoever it is on the airwaves in Sydney, it's never going to be what Roddy MacArthur was. So thoughts and condolences with the family. We do have a Facebook stars goal as well. We were playing with that on the weekend, Dylan. So if you want to donate and tip some stars to us, you can do so down in the comments. We're going to be running some things throughout the month of June, but we're still learning this stuff as well. So keep that in mind. We've got a busy show upcoming. So I guess, as Roddy would say, and away we go. Let's get to it, and let's get ready to bring in our first guest of the evening. And it is the driver of the number 85 at Petty International Raceway, and a guy that used to drive an 85 at Petty International Raceway. It's Ken MacKenzie Jr., Ken MacKenzie Sr. We're going to do that right there, get you some audio on there, and we'll get ready to have a conversation with the two. Boys, can you hear us? Hit that button right there. We're good to go. Boys, can you hear us now? Just like that Singular commercial or whatever, that cell phone commercial back in the day. Boys, how have you been? How's the winter been for you guys?
It's pretty much killed my stomach, but
might want to speak up just a little bit louder, because I heard that stomach bit, and I've been famishing too a little bit, but this is going to be a fun evening, because when I talked to the crew and everybody, I said, who do we get on to talk about Petty International Raceway? And boys, I don't think there's any Petty International Raceway show without you boys. So welcome in. Are you guys ready for the weekend?
I think so.
Well, okay, so Kenny, the driver is ready, right?
Yeah. We'll go with that.
So is the crew? What is your title this year? Senior crew chief, chef? What's the director of food? What's that?
All the above, buddy. I got a little of that OTC or OD, whatever you call it. If things ain't right before we put it in the trailer, they ain't going. So we got maybe Kenny can before the show's over take his machine over and show you our little 2-bay garage. There's 3 cars hanging out of it right now. So we're ready.
3 cars. Who do you got in there?
Well, there's Kenny Sportsman, and then there's Craig McPetrage's Street Stock that we just got the okay to run this weekend. The decals are on the bus as we speak. And this winter we helped Drew Lewis build the car because he did a lot of help for us building the room on the house, and that was a kind of a payback to help him build a car. So he just finished his tonight, and our 2 cars are ready to go. So it's just go fill up gas cans now.
We are live and interactive here this evening, and I'm sure Craig is going to be listening, so I'm sure he's going to be commenting throughout the evening. Me and Dylan are kind of doing double duty tonight, doing both, but why did Craig have to okay it? I figured with Craig, he would have okayed that back in like January.
Well, I got to clear something up. That car is totally Craig's car. He had plans to run 5 or 6 times this year because, it's hard to go for Junior to run 2 cars in one night. It's not as easy as it looks. Braking points, gas points, heat, the whole deal. But we spent a lot of time on it this winter. If we say we think we need something, Craig will get it. And our biggest problem last year was engine. And he put a brand new crate motor in it. We tested it, changed the setup in it quite a little bit. And it was actually very, very good. So we're excited to see what we got.
Kenny, you've done this a couple of times from the driver's seat, in the street stock, in the Sportsman. Obviously, we saw it on Speed Weekend last year at 660. We saw it at the Mike Stevens Memorial. We've seen it at a couple of races, but maybe not necessarily back-to-back. I know that can be difficult for a driver, but how do you prepare for a weekend like this when you're doing 2 in 1 shot?
Well, I try not to drink too much. Like the 2% chocolate milk really knocks me out there, but other than that, I don't know, we work our guts out all week to get the track, and we're just happy to be there, especially with all this Toyota Corolla virus going on. So, just happy to be back, and I don't know, lots of sleep, I guess.
So how do you prepare coming into this weekend? Because it's the first race of the season. Miramichi's had one, 660's had one, but for you, it's the first race of the season. You've had the testing, you've had the practice, you've done the iRacing thing, but you can only do that for so long. What are you thinking going in, to that first corner after a long winter?
Well, it's not necessarily what I'm thinking. It's what everybody else thinks. It's rough. The first couple races you got to be cautious. Everybody's trying to get the frost out of their rear end, So, other than that, I guess you just take it with grievance.
So the street stock, obviously, we'll talk about Craig's deal in a moment, but the Sportsman car, you've had a lot of success at Petty International Raceway. We had a closed border race last year. Obviously, it didn't end the way I know you guys wanted it to, but how is the feel going in knowing you still have to compete with, the Neil Crawfords and the Justin Beers and those guys that come down from Gary? What's the mindset going in?
I guess just keep the nose clean. I mean, it's going to definitely suck not having Jordan Bino and the lads from down your way up here. But, I think Petty draws the best cars in New Brunswick, wouldn't you say? Yeah. New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. And, the Oblinas girls would be there, Neil Crawford, Justin Beers, a lot of top running cars. So we got to be on our game, right? So, and there's only really the 4 of us, I guess. Gramps is with us now. So we got to be on our game.
Last year, we saw some wild sportsman races up there, from the first one all the way up to, the Riverglade International, fire extinguishers thrown, this, that, and the other thing. And then you had the Mike Stevens race, which was an awesome finish at the end, and you ended up on the podium. So how do we go into a season now knowing that it's a blank sheet of paper? Do the race fans expect a race that we saw last year, or do we expect maybe a little bit of calmness over 100 laps?
I mean, it's hard to say who touches who, really. I mean, there's definitely a couple people out there that probably ain't the best friends, but other than that,
Usually at the first of the year, the slate is clean. I think everybody's over what happened, and I think it'll be great.
We are live and interactive. Be sure to drop us a comment, a question on Facebook, and we'll get it to Junior and Senior. And Dylan, I know you're over there, so you got to see some racing at Petty for the first time last year. What were your impressions?
I loved it. It's such a cool track. I mean, I wasn't expecting Petty to be my first track for 2020 last year, and by the way things are maybe going here, it might be the first one for us again in 2021. But just looking at the schedule for this weekend at Petty, Junior, are you going to be running the street stock? Is that correct? You're going to be doing double duty?
yes, we will be doing double duty.
So you got a gap. You got the modified race in between. What changes do you have to make mentally and I guess sort of physically to get adjusted from a street stock to a sportsman with a 75 lap feature in between?
I mean, it definitely take if we're going from one car to another. I mean, they're obviously a different drive car, but I think my biggest thing is pound some drinks to me and maybe a couple sandwiches, buckle in her, and go again.
And this deal being 100 laps, because this first race has changed a little bit. It was a 75, now it's 100 for the sportsman, at least. For you, how does that change anything at all?
No, not so much. I mean, I like the longer run races. Our everything apparently seems to work better on the long run. So I mean, 75 to 100, you're not really talking that big of a noticeable difference with anything. Just a little bit longer of a drive.
And you seem to excel on those longer races too. So those are Kenny MacKenzie Jr. type races, right?
That or the car. I'd just go with that.
Whatever works, right?
That's right.
So let's make the old man feel old for a little bit. Senior, when did you get your start in racing?
Really? 1987.
So, okay, 87. So that predates me and Dylan. So congratulations on that. You're the oldest guy on the show. How about that?
Here.
So how did you get your start? Obviously, I'm sure Riverglade comes into this. What was your first racing ride?
Well, I'll make a long story short. My wife worked at Spencer's nursing home, and she worked for a lady by the name of Shirley Lewis, quote, Shady Lewis. She drove the powder puff for Ronnie O'Blenis, O'Blenis Roofing and Siding. So anyway, we got talking and stuff, and I always liked cars, whatever. One New Year's Eve, we were invited out to Ronnie O'Blenis' place for New Year's Eve party. Their thing back then was New Year's Eve, they'd fire cars up instead of shooting shotguns, driving donuts in the snowbank, blah, 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 blah. Right about then, Ronnie and I became very good friends, and a couple weeks later, I bought a 1973 Pontiac Le Mans for $200 that I told Jerry it was going to be our winter car. And a week later, she come home. We lived in White Cross Village then, and it was stripped. And bought a roll cage for $60, and away we went.
And the rest is history, right?
Well, there's a lot of history, yeah.
So walk us through some of those big wins, because I know you have a few of them in your back pocket. What's your biggest win in your racing career?
I would say having, I don't know, the internet. I know Sherry's cleaning the basement. She wants to throw all my trophies away. Any win was really, really, decent. When we used to race Riverglade, like anybody that comments on Facebook about Riverglade stuff, like it was a tight little place. You didn't have to have a motor; you just had to have guts. We were very successful there in all the years that we were there, and then 2010 we decided to try. Well, I guess Riverglade was closed. 2010 we decided to try Fredericton full time because we went there in previous years and had bad luck. We went there in 10 and actually we won a championship. Michael Banks and I came right down to going into the feature tied points. And he had to do what he had to do and turned me sideways, and I saved it and across the line. And it was just, I probably would have done the same thing, but I really thank Riverglade Speedway for showing me how to handle a race car, because the guys in turns 3 and 4 said they could see my right side door number. The car went around that far, so we saved it and we drove the victory, and then we went back in 11 just to see if it was a fluke, and it wasn't. So, and then we wanted to try the pro stock thing. So, David Belinas and I are good friends, and I bought something hanging up on the wall with cobwebs on it. We put it together. It was cool. I had a lot of fun.
I want to ask you about those pro stock days, because you were, guys like Harry Ross White, Craig Ward, yourself. You see these butchers and Blaine Corns and all these young fellas come in and, do laps and what have you. And now you're up here doing laps. How cool was it to kind of relive your childhood, per se, with that pro stock?
I loved it. I can't amplify how professionally run that pro stock series was. I run what I could. I run what I could afford. The only thing in my racing career that I regret to this day was I started in the pro stock series so late. I started at 50 years old.
Oh my God.
And I'd still be doing it today, but I know what the older I get, things, you got to keep your head in the box, and it just wasn't staying in the box. So if this kid wants to try pro stock someday, we're going to do it before he's 50 years old.
I want to ask about that in a moment, but before we kind of transition into that, your name's on that Riverglade International trophy a couple of times. How big is that to have your name on that trophy? That's, I think it's 57 years this year running.
Yeah, it's cool to be on it. I was 7 laps short of winning it 3 times. We got in an incident with a car, whatever the call was. Anyway, we went back. We didn't win that. But it's cool to be in it, on it. But it's even cooler to have your kid on with you. That to me is really, really special.
Junior, how cool is it to have your name alongside your dad?
It's pretty neat.
Mine was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Like, especially when you're looking at it, like Dad mentioned, David Belinas, Sean Tucker, like a lot of the big guys, the guys that are around here that have succeeded in the best they can around here. And I mean, we were fortunate enough to click one off, and beyond that, fancy piece of wood. I look at it every day before I go to work, and it's just like, that's why I go to work.
You've got a lot of big trophies. I want to talk about them in a second, but we're live and interactive. Dylan, we're doing double duty tonight since Denver's not here. What are you seeing on social media?
Well, we got a couple of things up here, but I'm just wondering, Junior and Senior, have you ever raced each other on the track?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll let him take that over.
Do I sense a wreck?
I raced the car you have now.
Yeah.
I bought from Craig. He was in another car, another sportsman car, and did you win?
Oh,
that was your first win.
Yeah, that was a great.
Yeah.
Brady was there.
He beat Brady, and I finished third. I did well, but I got tired.
So wait, how long of a race was that?
100, wasn't it? Yeah.
So if it was like a 25-lap feature, you wouldn't have had a problem.
No, I actually stretched her out for quite a while, but we bought the car from Craig, and we jammed the seat in it, and I forgot to put a headrest in it. And my head was bouncing off the shifter there for about 20 laps.
That's the prime definition of the driver falling out of the seat, right?
Pretty much, because I was barely in it.
Dylan, what do you got on social there?
Well, Brandon Campbell's checked in. He's watching. He wrote, I still remember the time I sat on Ken's lap in the sportsman car at River Glade. He was pretty scared that we were going to go into the pond. So was that like a kiddie ride day or something at River Glade, Ken?
It could have been. They used to have like Pee-wee fans and stuff, and they still do it around here a little bit. It was a big thing. We used to have, like, at River Glade, there would be a parade lap before the races. All the cars would come out, national anthem, blah, 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 and then do the thing. And there was also the kiddie rides. And Yeah. Brandon, he's not young anymore either.
He's getting behind the wheel now. He's got his mini stock. He raced the Miramichi a couple weeks ago.
Good for him.
Any tips for a young driver like a Brandon who's getting behind the wheel for the first time, really?
My motto, I mean, you can go back as far as you want to think. I didn't wreck a whole lot of stuff, but if stuff broke, you ain't going to fit it. Just try to keep the paint clean.
Junior, any advice?
About what he said, because, man, we hate body work.
Oh,
Well, that'll bring us to our next question here. Brent Patterson's watching. He always has this question for every driver. We got one for each of you. What's the worst wreck you've been in? So we'll go with the senior gentleman here, Ken.
I can give you two. One of them is a little bit embarrassing, but anyway, we packed her in the fence at Riverglade one time, and it was my first time wearing a crotch belt. And you have to read between the lines right there, but didn't have my belts real tight, and the crotch belt was there, and spent 2 days in the bathtub after that. Wasn't good. And then there was a trip Riverglade also with Billy Somerville, and I were racing hard, and I ended up on a group. That's all over Facebook somewhere.
What about you, Junior?
Knock on wood, I haven't really had any major wrecks. I guess would have to be last year. There was a big pile up. We got loaded up, and somebody come along a few minutes later, and underneath of us, they bent a bunch of stuff, and it hurt. And then I think the year before that, anyway, we got T-boned real hard, like great driver torque. I think that had to have been the worst. I never rolled anything in band. It was too heavy to do that.
Yeah.
I think that was, I rode back a couple times to 660, but that was nothing.
From my experience, Junior, last year at Petty, I mean, in those sportsman races, there were so many guys from New Brunswick and Nova Scotia racing. There were some pretty bad wrecks and pretty big pileups in some of the turns, and you kept your car relatively clean. I mean, how did you do it pretty much?
Well, goodwill in the spotter and my eyes shut, to be honest with you. No, you kind of got to read between the lines when a big wreck's going on. I mean, it's easier to say than do, but I don't know. It's just
Probably driving 90% instead of.
yeah, what he said.
We're showing some highlights on the screen right now with Speedway 660 from Speed Weekend last year. It seemed like you were able to work that car, this sportsman car, either side, because the heat race, you were rocking the top for a long while. And then you got down to the inside, followed Laurie Cormier for a bit, started making some moves. But Speed Weekend is big. You know, you get the Mike Stevens race and the Riverglade International at Petty. 660's race is Speed Weekend. So how cool was that to kind of end up on the podium at the end of that race, knowing at some points in some years that race can be longer than almost what it seems like by the laps?
We never usually have any good luck when we go to 660, just wrong place at the wrong time. But like last year, right? Yeah. To finish on the podium at 660 was just like another chug off the bucket list because we did it in the three stock, had pretty good luck there. But in the sportsman car, I've never been able to do it. I mean, he won it 2 years in a row, championship. And like that race there, when I tucked up behind Laurie, I just let him poke the holes. I mean, Laurie's a very well-talented driver. So any little bit I can watch him do, or if I can maybe manipulate him, do it myself. Like you got to watch the car in front of you, what he's able to do, and maybe you're able to do a little bit better. You know what I mean? It's just kind of one of them to take it back.
You mentioned that street stock, and we'll come full circle now because I know you started in the Bandolero, worked your way up, and now that street stock period that you had some huge success in that race car. Talk about those days. What do you remember most about the days with Marmaduke?
It's pretty hard to have a well-balanced car to even feel a little bit of adjustment. Now, back when the street stock still had like a trunk pan in it and door handles on it, it was a street stock. We used to have pulleys off front of a motor for spring straight to the back. And we'd scale it up, be very best. I'd go to bed. Well, Dad would get back up and he'd put another pulley underneath the back. It would take me 5 laps. I'd come in. What'd you do to it now? Take it out. I don't like it.
Good.
And just the car and I got along so very well. It was sickening. Like the car drove me basically.
I know you had the success. I think there was a Triple Crown at 660 you won one night. All the success at Petty International Raceway. What do you remember about big wins, big moments in that street stock?
Like you say, Tim, and it sounds bad. Like we've had a lot of success with the street stock, and it just seemed to happen so fast. Like I would honestly say, going back to one of my biggest wins, I guess, that stuck out in my mind when I first started street stock is when Jason Carnahan owned Speedway Mare Machine. I think it was their second race. He had the Spooktacular 100, and I don't know how we clicked it off, but we did. Still had the Andrew Rogers paint scheme on it. So right then and there, like I never thought I'd be able to do it. And sure enough, we went to Mare Machine, was able to do that. The International was cool. A lot of history behind the International. Like I say, with the sportsmen and stuff, like it's awesome to be on it, and just knowing the history behind it and who's on it and why the International is the International means a lot.
Let's come full circle now. We have the 85 car in the shop with Dulux paints on the side of it with Craig McFettridge backing that thing and overseeing the operation. Is there anything that you didn't get accomplished in your street stock career that you kind of told Craig, hey, I kind of want to scratch this off the bucket list?
I'd like to do, I guess what I would like to try and do is win both in one night. That would be cool. Now, really what appealed to me is the big street stock races. Like, if we could ever get over there, the one in Oyster Bay. I've never laid a lap there. Good friends with the little fellow there, Mitchell Arsenault. Him and I get along very well. I've been up to that race a couple times, watched it. The place looks like a blast, and there's a lot of rub and grace going on there. I like that. That's cool. And it's just a lot of the big races, and Craig and I are on the same page. We want to go over the cars, and we want to go over the big races and big laps.
That kind of answers my next question. What do you guys have for the schedule circled on the list? But I guess that kind of answers it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
We are live and interactive here this evening. Don't be shy. Just because Dylan is actually on the screen tonight doesn't mean you still can't ask a question. Be sure to drop it down below, question or comment, and we'll get to it. We're live and interactive here this evening. So the street stock question kind of out of the way. I want to start with the sportsman now, and we've had a lot of success. Let's start with that championship, though, in 2017, because that was the year that the tires got changed, and you guys seemed to really hit on something with those tires. But you still had the Laurie Cormiers, Luc Bourgeois. You still had that competition breathing down your neck. How cool was it to get that season-long championship?
Very unexpected. Being the age I was, I didn't feel I had enough experience to do it. Now we had, like I say, back to the Big Rex, we got T-Bone there a couple years ago real bad. And I think we might just be working it out, finding little stuff here and there. Like there's not been one piece of this car that hasn't been taken apart. And ever since then, we've been fairly weak on these 890 small tires. And I've even heard, as far as a sponsor of mine, I picked up the sponsor check one night, and him and his buddies were sitting around, and he even told me, a friend of his says that I'm washed up. I don't know about you, but I'm only 24 years old. I'm not 50.
What does that say to the guy next door to you?
Well, no, that's not where I was going with that, but I feel like this year could be our turning point with this car and with these tires, because this year I find the car is syncing all together as one as it did with the slicks. I've never had that feeling in this car before. It's very comfortable, and I think I might actually be able to get the monkey off her back and start being a decent contender again. We go to Riverside, we have some good luck. Don't know what.
Does that momentum off the Mike Stevens help you any going into this season?
Absolutely. Like I say, we try to put, like, it's a new year. You know what I mean? New year, new track. Wayne's done a lot of work to the track. So even track surface is good. But it's definitely nice to rebound on. We are faster than we was last year this time. Mike Stevens I think we might have a good piece to work with.
You mentioned that one buzzword that I want to bring up again, and that is Riverside. Every time you guys come down here, it seems like you hit on something. What is it about Riverside International Speedway that you guys rise to the occasion for?
Being able to go wide open and feel how demanding that track is. I don't know if it's me or if it's the cars. And there's a lot of respect between drivers down there, which makes it a lot nicer because it's like I raced Josh Collins pretty hard there last year. Almost was. I probably could have got a third out of it if I really wanted to be a wiener, I guess you'd say. But at the end of the day, nobody likes body work. Everybody wants to have fun, go home in one piece so they can work on something else the next day.
And that is the big show. It's the IWK 250. How cool is that to be a part of that as a driver coming in from New Brunswick and being a part of the big weekend in the Maritimes?
I feel it's huge because I don't think there's a whole lot of many New Brunswick drivers other than Brady that come down. I mean, Nova Scotia's got a lot of their own crew, but it's like Jordan Bino and Devin Smith per se coming up Petty Raceway. New Brunswick has our own drivers, and Nova Scotia has their own drivers. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. You're coming in as the underdog, I guess.
We don't expect much. We just go and we work and we work and we work and we find speed. So pretty happy with that.
You've done the Halifax deal once before as well. Is that something that you guys would try again?
I think so, yeah.
Is there any other racetrack with that sportsman you might want to scratch off the bucket list? Anything you got circled, obviously with COVID and the restrictions and whatever else, put that aside. Is there anything you kind of have circled on your bucket list that you might want to try with that sportsman car?
We bought a toter home 3 years ago, and we actually just got it back tonight service because we were having a little engine trouble. Barring COVID, Riverside is the definite, and I wouldn't mind going to Cape Breton just because.
you sparked Dylan's interest.
Well, I was just gonna say because Dave,
we like the race, but we also need somewhere to lay down, and the toter home has all that. So if we can go to Cape Breton, we're definitely gonna go.
the thing too, when Dave Oblinus was on the show, he raced at Sydney last year, and he said that track somewhat reminded him of Riverglade. So, Senior, you might get back behind the wheel if you make a trip up to Cape Breton.
No.
He wouldn't race it, but I'd make him take it out in practice like I did in Riverside.
I was going to say, I don't know how many people know about that night at Riverside when Senior got in the car and ripped a couple laps around. Because I remember walking down pit road, and I think, Kenny, you were on top of the trailer, and your car's on the racetrack, and I'm trying to put two and two together, and, he finally gets out of the car. So Senior, how is that going around Riverside International Speedway, albeit for just practice?
Well, I did it way back when it had guardrails and stuff with a street stop. And the first year we went, he asked me if I wanted to try it. I was like, no, I'm good. Like, it's his car. Even we're close, but the seat doesn't fit me, and it's just not real comfy. But anyway, it started to rain, so we put the two front tires. We were pulling in the trailer, and then the rain stopped, and he said, why don't you take it for a rip? And I said, you know what? Like, I was brave enough. Let's do it. So the best part of it was when it was done. When I put it away, Brad Eddy, very good, good, strong runner down there. He said, I forget what he said, something effective. He couldn't catch Junior or whatever for a minute there. I said, well, that's good. I said, because it wasn't Junior, it was the old part. So that was pretty, coming from him, it was almost a compliment. But that is a beautiful racetrack.
We had Sean Turple on a couple of episodes ago, and there's a couple of drivers that use that R word in retire. So would you ever entertain getting back in a race car? I know Barry Richard's watching from Miramichi too. So would you ever entertain getting back in a race car and doing a race?
I might try this. I might.
That's the answer I want to hear. I don't care about anybody else, and I'm sure Junior, you want to hear that too, because the old guy beside is quite entertaining on the racetrack. I miss seeing him on the racetrack. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, he usually takes it out with practice, and he doesn't do it far off. I mean, I kind of look at it as, you know what, Frank and Fraser, he's getting up there in age. You know what, if he can still do it, my dad can. So.
Well, you still got a couple of years to catch Rick Cashel, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're live and interactive. We mentioned we have a couple of folks listening. Barry is wondering, Junior, are you looking for that big trophy in Miramichi at the end of the year with that street stock?
I think so. I really, and Barry knows it, really wanted to come last year and play. But Craig wanted to go to Shittiak off the bat. So his car, I mean, hey, I ain't going to turn down running some laps. You know what I mean? We really wanted to go, and I think this year we're going to be allowed to go. So really pumped for that. Love the Speedway Miramichi. And I just love the Miramichi in general. Have a lot of friends up there. Brady Kramer's crew. Like, we always get together, do a lot of snowmobiling with Brady's crew, like Josh Geeky and all them. And just love the atmosphere up there.
And both weekends don't conflict now with everything they've done with the short track summit and everything else. They don't conflict. So if Craig wants to go to both, you guys can do both this year. There's no conflict, right? No conflict, right?
Absolutely.
So not to put words in Craig's mouth, but I'm sure he's watching. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Doug Jago's watching. Senior, looks like you need a cold one.
I got a glass of water, buddy. It's only Wednesday.
It's only.
But I am on holidays.
So how does that work if you're on holidays?
Didn't quite figure that out yet. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
So you're still holding that Friday at 5 o'clock thing, right?
No.
Well, Tim, it's patio day here in Nova Scotia. The patio's reopened, so people are drinking beer right now.
I think that's why Junior and Senior are on the patio tonight.
Well, dude, I don't know if people don't know this, but he don't even drink. He's
You got a tea? Oh, that's water.
No, the camper's right full.
Excellent. So you guys are all, besides the shop, you said they're all in the shop. They're all ready to go for this weekend, right? Drew's car's ready to go too?
Yep, just finished her up.
Kenny can point the thing over there and show you.
Okay, let's try the technology, Kenny.
Oh boy.
It's live. I say that all the time too.
There, I'll take it for a walk.
Okay. By the way, this is the first shop tour we've ever had on Tim's Corner Live.
Drew.
So.
This is great.
What's he doing over there talking? Why isn't he in here working on race cars?
It is done.
Oh, okay. Okay, he's allowed to talk.
So here's our Need for Speed wannabe shop. They got the Craig's cars right there. Drew's is right here. Mine's right there. Drew's is also a really uncle, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's look back to really James Cooter Smith's car. They call it the Big Dirty.
Yep. I think the Wi-Fi gets a little bit rough at the speech. There we go. I think we're back again. There we are. We're coming back into range.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm coming back in the ramp.
So everything is ready for the weekend. You mentioned trying to race both and trying to manage both here, Junior. What are your goals as a driver going into this weekend? What do you want to have at the end of Saturday night as a driver?
Honestly, I think we're due for a couple checker flags. Well, you know, we've had, like I say, we haven't had that great a luck with the sportsman car. Like, as far as being a dominant car, haven't really been there in the past couple years, and I think it's time to turn it around. So, car feels good. I think it's pretty quick. I'll stay off 2% chocolate milk and might be in good shape.
So do you anticipate any changes? You've done some testing. Do you anticipate any changes once you get to the racetrack and, you know, get that first practice underway on Saturday?
I mean, we practiced by ourselves, and the car was pretty quick, so we'll be able to take that with us, but also we'll have some traffic as well. So whether it be people trying to get around us or us trying to get around people, the car's going to be complete 360 compared to what it was. And I mean, we've had some rain, and so I mean, the weather, everything, track temps, everything like it. And I've learned that that's quite a big part. It was definitely taken for granted, and I think we've got something to work with. I hope.
You know, we've had these cancellations. We've had this rain. What does it do to your mindset as a driver, having to wait 2 extra weeks to get on the racetrack?
Depressing and cheaper.
Yeah, I know the feeling from this side too. So looking forward, I guess, to this season, you mentioned, maybe go to Riverside if the bubble's open, do those big races. What do you have circled on the schedule? Is there a championship at Petty you want to win? You mentioned the street stock. What else haven't we covered here tonight that you want to get done in 2021?
Well, I'll tell you, my biggest thing right now, I'm not sure where he went, but this winter, my grandfather took a real bad one. Forgot about taking his pills, diabetic, real bad. Anyway, he ended up moving in with us. Hence why we helped Drew build a car. He built a room on for us. And we fortunate enough to have won Sport Championship. Now, my grandfather's been a big part of our racing and a big supporter of him. I mean, he was a kid, so why isn't he going to be? But I would really like to click off a championship this year with my grandfather still around. Now, he's what, 86? 85. Now's the year to do it.
Same number as your car.
Left, right? That's right. Great observation, pal.
That's why we bring Dylan on. He's smart. He's got it, right, Dylan?
Sure, that's
Good
what
lad.
they say.
I know there's a couple of more people. What's that?
I got a question for Dylan.
Okay.
Me?
You. Would you
Go for
ever run another demolition derby?
Yes. I was supposed to. I was supposed to at the first Miramichi race. I had a car lined up and everything. I had sponsorship ready. Just the dang border didn't open up.
Gotcha. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I would hope to have a better van or car than the last time because it didn't have the accessory belt. It had no power steering and no cooling, no anything. So the van cooked itself within 4 laps, but it was a blast. I mean, I don't know if you two have raced in enduro derbies or figure eights, but it was something else, though. Have you guys ever dabbled in demo racing?
We played down here, like Wayne usually puts on a little race, so we try to support that. Like, I've got a car sitting back there already, not ready to roll, but ready to wreck. But I've never run a demolition in Miramichi. I had a car lined up years ago. Jason kind of called Dad and said, yeah, don't let him race that. I mean, the boys are a lot more hardcore than we are down in Petty, so.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. That was when Jason would have still had that crossfire race, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do that either.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So that day of destruction is coming up. I think it's July 25, 26, whatever it is at Petty. But you answered my question. So how close is that car to being ready for that day of destruction?
Windows. Number. That's go.
Hey, dude, what's up?
Oh, I hear Drew.
That's Wayne.
Oh, is it Wayne?
Yeah.
What's he doing on a Wednesday night?
Stopping around eating ice cream, I think.
Oh, it's only ice cream? There's no chicken or anything else tonight? We do have some comments in on Facebook. Dan McGrath says he has beer for you, Senior, if you want some.
Not far away. He'd have to drive all the way over here.
Well,
And we'll walk him back.
have you ever seen Dan McGrath drive, though?
Yeah.
Derek Hilchey says you look too serious for tonight.
I'm scared to death.
Well, this has been fun so far. This is just us having a little conversation with our closest friends on Facebook, right?
That's right.
Dylan has the Sharpie up. What do you got, Dylan?
Well, I got something for the boys here, and I know the answer is probably going to be a no, but Barry at Speedway Miramichi has talked about these like superstar cars of the demo derbies, and what if he offered 2 cars to each of you to race in the demo events?
No, I ain't doing it. I got to work for a living.
So,
if my father would let me, I guess I'm in like a dirty shirt, but them boys play hardcore.
Okay, so let me rephrase Dylan's question. We had Bob and Riley Goodwin on the show earlier. We've had a couple of, father-son, father-daughter duos on the show. So if it was just you two on the racetrack in Miramichi and demo cars, would you do it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the next question is who wins?
Let him.
No, you can't let him win. That's not fair.
I don't want to put any more gray on his head.
So you'd let him win, but you'd let him know you're there on the last lap, right?
Just like Ricky would do.
It's what I like to hear. Dan says he's heading over already, so be prepared for that. We got a couple of more minutes here with the MacKenzies. Drop us a question, drop us a comment. Dylan, do you have anything else?
Yeah, a few more coming in here. Well, number one, Barry Richard wrote he's buying more cars this week. So
that's a bad idea.
Adam Hiscock, I think, from The Rock, he wrote, a few Newfoundlanders make the trek to the mainland almost every year. Any chance the 85 car would make a trip to Eastbound Park?
You know what? That's a very good question. That's one track I would like to go to. It's a beautiful track by the looks of it. I follow a young fella on TikTok there, number 84. I forget what his name is, red and black car, Bandolero. And he usually posts videos of him practicing. The track looks beautiful. But cost-wise, it would cost us, I think, an arm and a leg to go over. I don't know about you, I only got 2 legs and 2 arms.
But if you have the toter and you have a place to stay and it's already going to Sydney.
True enough.
The old man does. I was going to say, you don't look convinced.
Hey, you know what? If we can do it, we'll go.
I
like it. I like it as much as he does. Believe me.
Dylan, we'll talk about this a little bit later on, and I'm sure Adam and the boys will comment. But you got Ches Cole over there. You've got Dean Martin over there. You got some guys that are a little. They're not the Butchers and the Blankhorns. They're not the younger generation over there. So, senior, you might fit in over there.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
So,
senior thing is starting to hurt.
We're going to have to get you back in the car. That Cy Harvey always said getting back in a race car is that magic pill to feel younger.
I'll tell you what, when you're in a race car, there's no phones ringing, there's nobody bothering you. It is a pretty peaceful place.
As long as you don't bring the phone in with you. And I think they don't allow that anymore because that other stuff they check post-race, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Dylan, what else do you got? I know you're looking over there.
Well, I mean, Adam wrote, for sure the ferry would, in gas money, I guess, would probably be your biggest cost there. But are there any other tracks, Kenny Jr., I guess, and Senior as well, maybe around like the northeast of the States and here in Atlantic, Canada, that you'd like to make a trek to maybe race or maybe even just go as a fan?
We talked about it before this Toyota Corolla started. The Reeds actually went down there a couple times, and they said they had a ball. We were planning on going to Jacassa. It's like that way, quite a while. To go try that, just go out of province, and hey, you know what, we get run over, but just say we did it.
Dylan, you got anything else?
I think that's it for now. So don't be shy. I mean, we're having a good time. We're getting tours of the cars and everything too. I guess another question there. So was that like a Gen 6 style body on Drew's car, Ken Jr.?
That's one Wayne started to build. It was supposed to be like his Z2. The Z2 car from down in Florida. That's something that Wayne Smith and Kev built. The body was probably about another 10 feet wider. We shortened it up so it was almost normal. And there was the Gen 6 nose that come with the car, so that's what Drew wanted to do. So that's what we put on.
So now Drew does have experience this season already. He ran that one race at Speedway 660, so he's got the leg up on you already. Has he mentioned that yet?
No, he hasn't. I mean, that his first race really didn't end too well, but she's.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing everything happen on Saturday and throughout the season. Get this coronavirus out of the way and get back to racing. And I guess you looked at the championship. You mentioned that championship. Is there any other main goals this season? Is there any any race you really want to check off the bucket list this year that would make your season complete?
One more international, I would have to say. Just the first time that's great. The second time, well, let's just make it stick.
Senior, as the crew chief of this operation, is there anything that you kind of want to get accomplished this year?
2 years ago, when we go back to the 890s, as you said, he got T-boned, and we've had a 2-year drought on feature wins. I'd like to start right there, and get back on track with that, and then everything else follows when you start doing that. But that car. A lot of effort put into it this winter. It's the same looking car, but underneath it's not.
Now, I know this team is not complete without Mama. So how's Mama doing? Is she all ready for the season? Are the sandwiches made? What's the outlook there?
Sandwiches are made on the daily, bud.
She's all ready to go?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, she can deny it, but I think she's looking forward to getting back to the track, the track friends, just being back at the track after being cooped up through this whole virus thing, you know what I mean?
Now, we don't have the picture ready for Paul to put up on the screen, but you had the slogan on the back of your car that this thing runs on ham sandwiches. So how many ham sandwiches do you need on Saturday to fully be prepared to go racing?
Do we really want to answer that?
No, I need a good 2 or 3. I'm not gonna lie.
Come on up, bud. We get you geared up.
Are you able to video the race somehow, Tim, through other people, or what's going on?
We're working on that. Just finalizing some things we can't do live with, you know as well as we do with all the internet things that are out there and lack thereof at that racetrack. So we're working on it. We'll have hopefully some good news to report from Saturday. But it's like one of those deals where you're crew chiefing a race car from 4 hours away or 3 hours away. So Denver's not here this evening, but he's going to be armchair in that thing. So hopefully we'll be able to see those 2 checkered flags, right, Kenny?
That's what we were hoping for.
You mentioned the sponsors on that race car. The family is huge. The crew is huge, but I know you got a bunch of dedicated sponsors on these race cars. Who makes that for you?
We got a couple more. Actually, I want to start off with thanking Robert from Mac Tools here in Moncton. He stepped up. He started around being the Mac Tools dealer and just up the conversation. He knows the good ones. And he just said, you know what? He said, my banker person's telling me to spend some money, so we want to help out. I was like, well, that's wicked. We love shiny tools. And Silver Fox Estate showed up this year, first time. Glad to have them on. MTN HVAC is back on. Extreme Windows Indoors is back on. They weren't on last year because of COVID. Having to look after business, which is completely understandable. R. Stevens Mechanical, Craig, Do Luck Paints, Craig and Janet help us out with the big girl as well, and Accurate Moncton.
Now, mentioning Craig, we haven't mentioned this. We just talked about food. So, have you had to put any chicken on the bus to get him down to him this year yet?
Oh man, just talking to him on Facebook Messenger or FaceTime, it's killing him. That guy loves race cars
And eating.
But to know his car is going to be racing, that's why I'm asking about videos. If his car is going to race, he can't actually stand there and watch it race. It's got to be.
I know it's killing all of us too. So we hope so. Knock on wood. Get all that luck in and everything else there. Do we have a couple of more on social? I think before we let these guys go. Do we, Dylan?
Yeah, we do. Doug checked in again. He wrote, "How hard are you going to run good old Dan Duke?"
I love it.
Oh, Grampy Duke. Actually, he's supposed to be tuned in tonight with some popcorn. So, hey, Grampy Duke. That's one guy there I love racing with. He's changed my diapers right from the get-go. And the other day, I just gave him a new-to-him suit. I mean, it sure fit me, so him and Ev should both be able to get in it. Something that's one piece, not full hole, so he'll be looking all right.
Doug Matchett's watching. He's got a big race coming up with the modifieds on the weekend. He wrote 2 Dougie specials talking about food. Have you had the infamous Dougie special before?
I have not. We have not. As it may look, we have, but we have not.
Danny Harvey's also checked in. So we were talking about his dad a couple minutes ago. So
Uncle Si.
Uncle Si.
Uncle Si.
Am I missing something?
No, it's Uncle Si, and it's Danny's one of those guys that I want to get on the show at some point too, because I feel like that would be a conversation. But yeah, I think Danny's getting back in a race car a couple of times this year, so that's kind of neat. So now, before we let you go, Dougie has a special menu item in Miramichi. We don't have any special menu items at Petty named after drivers. And you said Wayne was off the camera, so let's put Wayne on the spotlight. We'll give you guys the word. If we were to put together a menu item at Petty Raceway in the canteen that had Wayne Smith's name on it, what would it be? Would it be a burger, a hot dog? What would be on it? Let's play a little devil's advocate here since he's off camera.
It could be very big because he's only half human.
Yeah, small fry.
That's it.
Small fry.
Nothing on it. No ketchup. No poutine. No anything like that.
You want to ask him? Like, he's right here.
Well, I remember. I think it was back at the Cat 250 a couple of years ago. Kenny, you and him were sharing a poutine on pit road before the 250. Yeah. So
come here. He's got a question. Come here. Come here. He's got a tall Pepsi. He's probably.
Oh, don't look all shy.
Okay, the poutines. Yeah, we like them.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a poutine.
No, I'd name it a small fry after that thing. Come here. He's got a question for you. Yeah, well.
You look like shit on a daily basis.
What's up, Tim Derry?
So we had Doug Matchett watching, and he's got his own menu item in Miramichi. It's a burger with gravy and onion rings and everything on it. So if we had a Wayne Smith special at Petty Raceway on your canteen, named after you, what would the item be?
Well, I don't know. I never really thought about it. Don't know. I really don't know. I'd have to think about that one. I mean, nothing like a nice cheeseburger, but that's not really a Wayne Smith. A T-bone steak would be nice.
I think we could go for that. What do you think, Dylan?
Geez, could you imagine a racetrack offering steak?
T-bone steak with mashed potatoes and onions and mushrooms would be really nice.
I think we have to get that approved by Ellen, right?
Yeah, probably.
I'll put you on the spot because you've seen Kenny Jr. grow up and you've seen him race and you've seen him do many laps at your racetrack. What do you think about the young lad that's getting ready to turn some laps here this season?
Well, he's been there testing quite a bit this winter and looks pretty strong. You know what I mean? Time will tell, I guess.
You're all ready for the weekend?
Yeah, once I get the grass mowed. I mean, I've been at it all day. And
Tim, can I put him on the spot?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Who is the 2021 New Smyrna King?
I think he's sitting right beside you, isn't he?
7 times. 6, 7.
So do you have that trophy on display at the racetrack yet?
what trophy?
The championship trophy. I know you got a picture from down there and everything else. Do you got that on display?
No, the guy got a fist fight in the tech shed and smashed the damn trophy.
You at least got the pieces?
Well, no, I didn't get nothing. All we got was the damn check.
Well, that's something, right?
Yeah, but I didn't get none of it.
Dylan, before we go, because I know Ryan McKnight is waiting in the wings here to get ready and get ready for his mini stock season. But Dylan, you got anything for Wayne Smith?
Yeah, Doug Matchett recommends Sloppy Smith Poutine. That should be your signature at Petty. Are you a big poutine guy?
I love it. First one free.
Yeah, I like that. What are you doing Saturday? Can you come up and do some announcing for us?
Love to. Can you sneak me over the border?
We could probably fly you across or maybe swim.
Ooh, I don't got my swimming legs in yet, but what are you expecting, Wayne, with the show coming up here, your first race of 2021?
Well, it's going to be down. Obviously, we're not allowed to have more than 50 people in the stands. All we're allowed in the pits is people that work on race cars. As long as you sign on a race car, you should be good. Keep your mechanical gloves on. Everything should be good. So, you know what? It is what it is, and we're trying to race, and we got to do what we got to do and try to make this move forward.
I'm excited to see everything unfold and get ready for the season and get it, because last year was the same way. We had the bubble closed, we had restrictions, so hopefully everything can keep going and we keep racing, and we can all be together back again in June, late June, July, August, whenever it is. Boys, this has been fun. Thanks for being a part of it. Where'd Junior go?
Oh, still here.
All right, I'm out of here, Tim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck this weekend. Have fun.
Thank you.
Boys, this has been fun. Thank you for being a part of this, and good luck this weekend, and we'll get the crew up there and hope to see you have a couple of checkered flags hanging out the window.
Thanks, Rick.
I guess we're already DQ'd.
Oh,
Wait, no. So if you're black flag now, does that mean you just start a lap down?
Don't show up.
But I'll tell you what, Tim, it's some hard to have your car up on a hoist like that. Track owners pull in. How can I cheat?
pull the door down.
I'll keep going anyway.
If there's a cheeseburger in there, I'm sure he'll find a way, right?
You know.
Good luck this weekend. This has been fun, boys.
Thanks,
Thank you very
guys.
much.
That's
Appreciate
Kenny
it.
MacKenzie Jr., Kenny MacKenzie Sr., and we're going to get ready to talk some fantasy points here, Dylan, because it's been so long since we've done this that we're going to show you the standings right now that are on the screen, and you're leading. I'm
Who's
second.
number one?
What's that?
Who's number one?
You are number one, and it's been so long that we're doing 2 races this weekend, so I can try to take the point lead. Denver is there. Brittany Hoyt, Meredith Hay, and the fans all picked Ashton Tucker on week number 1, which seems like 15 years ago at the Riverview Ford Lincoln season opener. So that's the first one. So we got 2 races this weekend. We initially were going to do the Atlantic Modified Tour race back 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with the Atlantic Modified Tour. Now, we do not have a pick for Meredith Hay yet. She hasn't registered her pick. Our picks are the same from a couple of weeks ago. So Denver and myself have both picked Eves McRae. You have Travis Conroy. You're still confident in that?
Sure.
Okay. So Brittany has Doug Matchett. We don't have a pick for Meredith yet. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But I feel pretty confident in Eves McRae. Going to be a great race. That's a part of the season opener at Petty Raceway. We hope to have that on the TCM TV video on demand airwaves, I guess we can call it. But we're including a second race because Eastbound Park got their race in. By the way, congratulations to Jason Groves, who picked up their win in the A1 Automotive 100. Some great racing over there with the boys. Mike James, them still working out some kinks. I know Race Monitor didn't exactly work the way they wanted to, but it happens on race number 1. So we have a blank slate, and we posted this on Facebook, and we're going to get our fans' perspective too as to what they would, who they would pick. And we're short a couple of picks here on the list because Denver and Meredith haven't put in their picks yet. So we will leave that, but we'll flip over and see who we have. And Dylan, you picked one of our former guests to be a part of your point lead, I guess, right?
Yeah, so I picked Mark Best for upcoming weekend. I know he had a couple engine troubles in practice, didn't have the best result, but you know what? He was very positive on social media after. Seems like a great guy, and you know what? How many times do we see a driver have a bad weekend, they rebound real strong the next, especially right after. We see it in NASCAR all the time. And I also just want to say, too, I got to see some footage from the Eastbound race. Holy moly, some of those heat races in the hobby stock division were intense. I want to get to Newfoundland so bad, but Mark Best, the best choice for this weekend.
And I like it because Mark's still getting back into the swing of things with his own race car. I picked Wayne Walsh, and I kind of went back and forth on this because I think Jason Groves is going to be strong. This weekend was strong before. I think he's going to be good. But Wayne Walsh is tough to beat when he's on his game, finished second. I think he's going to be the one to win the Hanlon Realty 100 this weekend. Brittany has picked Sarah Thorne. Denver and Meredith still don't have a pick. Our fans are going to be able to chime in as well. And you'll be able to chime in tomorrow on Facebook for the Atlantic Modified winner because we need some competition for Dylan. So we're going to bring the fans into this as well. And hopefully they can rebound after picking Ashton Tucker on week number 1. Our next guest, let's move on. And away we go. Our next guest is going to be the driver of the number 46 car. Winner last year at the Bubble Buster round number 2. Contender everywhere he goes with this 46 car. It's Ryan McKnight. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Are you, obviously you have one race, and we just had the MacKenzies on, and they haven't got on the racetrack yet. You have one race under your belt. So are you ready for the weekend?
I hope I worked the kinks out of it there up in Miramichi. I had a few issues, but all in all, I still had a decent finish. So hopefully it's good to go.
You guys had some tire issues up there. We know that track's abrasive, but it did some weird things to the tires, didn't it?
Yeah, I actually had left front issues. Unusual for my car, but it chewed up the left front in the heat race, and I changed tires, and I had a belt blow in the heat or in the feature race, and it was quite a handful.
I'd say it would be. We are live and interactive here this evening. Be sure to drop a question or a comment for Ryan, and we'll get it on the show. And obviously, it's nothing like coming home. You've raced at Speedway 660. You've raced at Speedway Miramichi. You've done the road show, per se. But what's it like coming home and getting this season opener finally under our belts? What's the mindset going in?
It's going to be nice to get back to the track I'm used to and put on a show for the few fans we do get to have. And it'd be a little different without the fans, but we'll try to put on the best show we can. Give her heck.
You haven't been in the driver's seat for long, so I guess we'll step back a couple of years. How did you get your start in this whole racing game?
My buddy actually did enduro racing up at 660 for a few years, and they took the V8 enduro away because it was just too hard to get cars. Then we actually were going to build a 4-cylinder for the 4-cylinder enduro they're trying to get going, and that didn't take off. So we're like, well, now we got a car built. What are we going to do with it? And we checked out some rules, and Petty was the closest thing we had for rules that matched our car. So we made a few changes and showed up.
Now I'm going to quote Dylan because first time he was at Petty International Raceway was last year, and I went through some of the B-roll, and Dylan had said that you don't see many Celicas, you don't see many Toyotas on the racetrack. So did that, 4-cylinder switch from 660 kind of stem that idea to build that car?
Yeah, it was already built, so we were like, well, we'll just take it. We didn't think it'd be that far off, and typical first time racer, you go out and think you're gonna run away with it, and man, was I ever mistaken. But it was a big learning curve to get it to be competitive with the cars we had there.
How steep was that learning curve being with the J.R. Lawsons, the Rob Poiriers, and you being a rookie and with that race car? How big was that learning curve on year number 1 to try to get your feet underneath you?
It was huge. I didn't really have a whole lot of mentorship, I guess, from behind the scenes or anybody that really knew anything about building race cars. So it was a big learning curve. Yeah, I can't even underestimate that. It took about a year and a half just to get the car, so it was a pain in the butt to pass.
We're showing some highlights of last year's Bubble Buster round number 2, where you went to victory lane first in that heat race, which was so strong, but that was a brand new race car. To get that thing out on the racetrack, and it performed so well and so stout right out of the box off the trailer. How much confidence did that give you last season to start off strong?
That first race was a really encouraging. It was surprising how much I actually went from the Corolla into the Celica when I set it up and stuff. And like I went out for the first race and finished third with it, and it wasn't even close to being perfect. So I was really impressed with that. And then to go out the next race and actually win with it with huge car numbers, I was really happy with it.
in between those two race cars, how big was it a change to set up that from the first race car to that second race car?
A lot of the stuff was similar. The engines are actually pretty much identical. So it was just a matter of figuring out what my gearing was going to be like, what tires to use, and I knew it's going to handle a little different and stuff, so I'd have to play around with that and stuff. But I got it pretty close right out of the gate, so I was really impressed with that. And so I'm still fine tuning, and I guess that always goes on. But no, I was really happy with out of the gate.
We are live and interactive here this evening. Be sure to drop a question, drop a comment. And Dylan, do I see Mr. Lightning on the Hill in the chat?
I do. Stephen Matthews is watching, and he wrote, Ryan is a class act and a great guy to run with. Good luck this weekend. Hope to run with you soon. Stephen is one of the best in 4 cylinders in Nova Scotia. And last year, he made the trek a lot to New Brunswick. We don't know how this year is really going to play out with this virus situation, but how cool was it having so many Islanders and Nova Scotians coming to New Brunswick last year, Ryan, to race alongside of you?
It was interesting because you're when you race with the same people, you know their driving styles and what they're going to do and how they're going to react, and then when you put a whole bunch of other drivers from other tracks in the mix, there's a lot of unknowns, but it really makes you bring your A game and because you don't know what you're going to be up against.
That would have been the case for you at Speedway Miramichi when you were side by side with Neil Muse there for a lot. I mean, he's from the Miramichi area, but he's been in Nova Scotia for quite a bit racing with the East Coast Mini Stock Tour on the dirt at Valley Raceway. So when you're getting side by side with a guy you may not be too familiar with and he's keeping up with you, what are the thoughts going into turn 1, turn 2, et cetera, et cetera?
I luckily raced with Neil before, so I knew some of his tendencies. I know he's a good guy and races clean, and I've never had any problems with Neil, so I knew he'd race me clean. I did the same back, race him clean, and keep it going good, and made for a really good finish too.
Key word there I want to pick up on: tendencies. When you go to a track and you see a driver, every driver, do you think, okay, this guy's a little rough in the corners, okay, this guy's kind of beat and bang? Is that the case, kind of a mental game for you and keeping mental memory of who does what?
It's something every driver knows. You got to keep track of, know when you can race somebody who you might want to let go, I guess. It does play in the mental game part of it, and you got to keep that in mind.
I'm sure we're really going to dive into it here in the next few minutes, but you got the first race under your belt at Speedway Miramichi. Brandon Campbell's watching. He was in the 99 Civic racing. I believe he was 99. Tim, was he in the 99?
Yeah, 99, yep.
Yeah, well, he was 99th position. Just kidding.
Oh, no. You said that, not me. Okay, continue.
But anyways, that first race, I mean, it must have felt so good to get back behind the wheel in 2021. How was it for you at Speedway Miramichi a few weekends ago?
It was going really good. Like I said, you're dueling it out for the heat win, and that was a lot of fun. Came off the track. I had to actually fix a few things after that heat win, so I had a few issues going on. I actually burnt my left front tire off, which totally blew me away. I actually didn't even really check on it that hard, and I just happened to look up underneath the car and seen it was right down into the cord. So I changed that and came out for the feature there, and it was going really good till the belt let go in the tire there, and I had a hard time getting the car to the finish line. It actually was riding so bad the strut spring actually came out and was chafing up and down on the fender, on the inner fender and stuff. So like the tire was actually higher on one side by about 3 inches. So it was a handful.
You started a war, by the way, with Mr.
Yeah,
Campbell.
I know.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I think Paul is actually handling that, so I think we're good to go on that. We kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, Ryan, but those bigger numbers last season, obviously with Scotia Speed World getting a late start, Oyster Bed not opening, a couple of drivers with race cars that wanted to race, so they traveled. 36 at the Mike Stevens Memorial. First, we'll ask you about time trials. How nerve-wracking was that to do single-car qualifying when you guys aren't used to it?
It was neat. I actually didn't mind doing it. I was actually having some braking issues that race. That was what kind of translated to the bad lap time, but I actually enjoyed it. It was something different and neat to try. But yeah, it's kind of nervous at the same time because you're there by yourself and everybody's watching. So.
And now you were in the pack battling, I think, with Mike Edwards and a couple of other cars most of that race, but you had some lap cars that you guys had to navigate. It almost looked like a late fuel run in a Cup Series race where you're passing slow cars, you're trying to battle amongst yourselves, you got cars coming from behind you. As a driver, having 30-plus cars on that racetrack, as Wayne started them all last year, what was the mindset in that final race of the season?
Just try to get decent, like work your way up, not tear your stuff apart. So you're there at the end and try to get what you can get out of the car at the last part of the race and hope to bring it home on in a good spot. And first be better, but I was having a few issues.
So the season as a whole last year, the win, the new car, everything as a whole, wrap your 2020 season up. Are you happy with it? Was there anything that you kind of wanted back that you might be able to get a couple of extra positions out of? What's your take on 2020?
I started off really strong. I was really impressed with the car. Then I made some changes and was monkeying around with some stuff, and the car really didn't respond good to some of the changes. I actually had some brake issues, more or less just bad, or not bad brake pads, but wrong brake pads, and they glazed up. In one race, I was actually pulling on the steering wheel to get it to stop going into the turns. It was that much effort to get to slow down. And actually I pulled off the track and almost ran the back of my trailer because the brake pedal went right to the floor. They boiled the brakes. So, but I had some issues, but the car ran good. I learned a lot about the car, so I can put that towards this year and hopefully have a good, strong season. So.
We mentioned going up the road to Miramichi, Petty being the home track. We haven't talked about Speedway 660 yet, but you guys have made a couple of treks up there and raced up there. What's your take on that, pretty much that circle in the Gary Woods?
I enjoy running out there. I love the track. You got different cars. We're actually taking the old Corolla and going to gear it up so it just runs Gary. I run the rules package and stuff there with that car. I had to get it approved and stuff, but it's a competitive car. I like running up there, to be honest. It's a whole different mindset of racing. Like they don't mind using the bumpers and stuff, which makes it more entertaining, and you got to be on your toes for sure. But yeah, I love running up there.
You mentioned the rules side of things, and I know this is Lawrence Hopper's favorite segment of the night where we talk about rules, but the mini stock quote-unquote outlaw deal that they did last year, they had a race in Miramichi, they had a race in Gary on the Sunday of Speed Weekend. What's your take on that whole deal? Because it seems like there's some that are for it, some that are against it. As a driver, what's your take on that outlaw sort of style of racing?
Well, outlaw racing, just bring what you bring. We were actually trying to get an import race up there to run last weekend, but of course last weekend went all to pieces, and we were trying to get a hold of all the other drivers that run our Petty rules and Miramichi rules and see if we could get something going in a hurry, but it was just too late notice. But would have been fun to run up there, but then again everything got canceled, and it's kind of a bummer that way. But I was actually going to go up in the booth for a change and actually see it from that side of things. So it would have been really fun, regardless whether I was racing or up in the booth watching. But no, as far as the outlaw race, I can see their point to it, and I can see our point to it. We just want to race, but we don't want to wreck it for them either. So.
You mentioned gearing up the old car for 660. Obviously, you've got the commitments with Petty International Raceway. Let's see all these COVID deals lift and put those behind us. What do you see out of your season? Do you see any more traveling? Is there any races you have circled on your calendar? What's the schedule look like for you?
We're planning on running all the petty races. We're going to pick up probably 2 to 3 more Miramichi races. We got a couple scheduled for 660 with the old Corolla, and we're hopefully, if everything goes right, we'll try to get over to Oysterbed for a race. So we'll see how that goes with COVID restrictions and stuff, but that is on the plan.
So with the New Brunswick side of things, is there one race you have circled on your bucket list now that you got the first win out of the way with that big bubble buster victory? Is there a couple of races circled on that calendar that you kind of say, I want to win that one, I want to have the big trophy?
Mike Steve's race. I don't know what it is. The atmosphere is crazy there. It's just an awesome night, and like we always have some outside cars there, and it's the one I want. It really is. That's probably my bucket list one, at least the most. It's the most important to me, I guess.
When you look at those big names that come to Petty Raceway and have that success, the guys like J.R. Lawson and Rob Poirier, and now you've got your name up there as a winner and a contender every week. Just starting those couple of years ago, how big is that to have your name right there listed with those Honda and those Acura guys?
Well, it was a lot of hard work, so I'm glad it's paying off. It's nice to get recognized for what you're doing. Yeah, I looked up to all those guys. Like Tim Webster was like just cleaning house when I started, and Mike Edwards and Mike Weagle and Rob Poirier was doing really good. Like there's a lot of drivers that I looked up to. It's like, man, that's what I need to do to achieve my goals. So I always looked up to those guys.
We are live and interactive here this evening. Drop us a question, drop us a comment. And Dylan, speaking of, I think we have one of those sharpshooters over there in the chat.
Yeah, Randy Titus is checking in. He wrote, looking forward to racing you at 660, always clean. Best of luck this season. And that's a 4-cylinder driver we always hear about. Randy Titus, any comments on him there, Ryan?
I always enjoyed running with Randy. Actually, one of the first races up in 660, me and Randy were battling pretty good, kept it clean. And yeah, I always enjoy running with Randy. Always nice talking to him at the track. And yeah, looking forward to seeing him and racing with him again this year.
The wife's watching right now, and she wrote, definitely nerve-wracking with large numbers on the track. So like Petty last year when there was 1,000 4-cylinders, everyone from the Maritime showed up to race. I mean, Ryan, I was in the announcer booth with Jesse Thompson at the track, and when we did the qualifying for that race during the Mike Stevens weekend, then we just had the calamity on the last lap with some slower cars getting in the way of JR Rex, and Cody Byrne gets the win. I mean, the end of that race with all those cars and just so many people half wrecking, how did you manage to somewhat keep the car clean?
Luck. Some of it. You just got to pick and choose your times, and sometimes you push it a little harder because you got to try to stay ahead of another guy. But it's pick and choose, and sometimes you take risk and hoping they pan out. And sometimes you just see it's going to happen, so you just kind of got to wait your time.
Things are a little tricky border-wise and travel-wise here to Nova Scotia, but let's say travel's not an issue, even money's not an issue. Any tracks in Nova Scotia you would eyeball to maybe run and bring the Toyota up to?
I'd like to do Riverside. I thought my car would do really well there. Want to try to get up to Sydney. Love to get to Scotia I like just trying all the different tracks. I find if I go to a different track, I actually learn something about the car, like a different characteristic that I actually did not know about the car till I raced there. First time I actually run up in 660 was I learned so much about the car that I didn't actually know, and I actually applied it to the car for the next race there at Petty, and it run that much better. So no, I actually like running an assortment of different tracks. You learn a lot.
We always hear too, Ryan, about sportsman drivers and pro stock drivers having to make changes in between races and different racetracks. Is that kind of the same with the 4-cylinder as well? A lot of stuff in the garage has to be tweaked on before you go from a Petty to a 660.
Yeah, especially when I was running the Corolla, trying to run both tracks. Like the I have to add a lot of weight to my car. I got to change all the struts and mess with all the toes and cambers, and yeah, it's basically changed the whole entire car. So from that track to Petty, anyways. Now when I go to Miramichi, I hardly touch anything with setup wise. It's pretty much the same from one track to the other. A few little things, but nothing too major.
Ryan's here on Facebook, on TCM's Facebook, so leave a comment. A guy who got to victory lane last year.
I see Denver Matchett is watching too, which I guess he got done all his work, Dylan, and didn't get to come have fun with us. That's a shame.
Hey, he should ask Ryan a question.
He should, maybe, since he's not here. Maybe he should do that. Ryan, I want to bring the lighthearted sort of deal into this conversation, because I know you guys get together after the race and have a fire and shoot the breeze, and there's not many racetracks around here, at least in Nova Scotia, that are like that, where you have a campground where you can go and you can mingle a little bit and have some fun. Obviously, with the COVID deal, it's a little bit changed, whatever, but how fun is it to have those guys around and just kind of unwind after a day of racing?
I actually enjoy it quite a bit. First year, I didn't have the trailer at the track. It was always a big rush to try to get home and unload everything. And now I just pull out, you park the truck, you gather up with your race family, and just shoot the breeze. And yeah, I love it. I really enjoy it. It's just as good as the racing part of it.
Now, I know we don't have the pictures loaded for Paul to show on the screen, which is a shame, but I heard Luke is back this year. Are you guys setting a record for how many beer cans you can stack on his head when he falls asleep?
I haven't heard of any goals to see how far we can get, but I imagine during the summer it'll probably happen.
I'm sure Alicia can give us an idea, because I think there was 6, 7-ish. I think you guys got through last year.
I think it was 5 or 6. I can't remember the number. I'll have to look at the pictures again.
We'll have to refresh our memories. It's always fun to have everybody around. I know Brad Daly's usually around. Brad's a great cook, by the way. We talked to Kenny and them about food. Brad is great at cooking up some burgers and hot dogs and stuff at the end of the night. I want to ask you about Chris, though, because I know Chris ran your old car a couple of times. He's been coming into his own as a driver. How cool is it to have Chris Garnett a part of the team?
It was really great. I was really happy with the job he did in our car. And to be quite honest, when we went to Gary for that 660 race, that first one there, and the tires were rubbing the fender walls, and we didn't get no practice in at all. We had to modify the fender walls so the wheels would fit with the race rims and stuff. And the poor guy didn't have no practice at all, and he almost won the heat race. It was right neck and neck with BJ at the line, and to go out and finish 5th with no practice on a car he's never run was phenomenal. Yeah, I was really happy with that. He ran for us up in Petty too for a race, because Brad wanted to kind of try the car out, see if there was anything they can improve on with the setup and stuff. And so he jumped on the car for that, so I could get a little more sponsor time for my sponsors, because I really appreciate them all coming on board again, especially with the unknowns of last year. So yeah, he gave me my sponsors some more time there, and but yeah, he did really good. He actually qualified better than I did with the old car. The car started pushing on him though in the feature race there, so it was kind of a bummer that way, but I think he enjoyed himself, and no, he did really good for only being in the car 2 times, and it's a handful, that one. So he did really well.
We keep going back to the Mike Stevens race, but I went back and cut some B-roll earlier today, and when you guys ran time trials, you were out first, and then all of a sudden the next car up was Chris. So how cool was that to have both cars in the racetrack that weekend?
It was really neat. I enjoyed seeing the pictures of it, and because I never thought I'd have both of them out on this track at the same time, but no, it was really neat seeing both out in the track. Kind of different passing your own car though.
It's the same number, it's the same sponsors. You've been there before. You had to do a double take, right?
Oh yeah, it kind of unreal, really. But no, I enjoyed it.
I see some questions rolling in, Dylan. Alicia, by the way, says it's 6-ish. I don't know how ish becomes a thing with stacking cans, though. Like it has to be 5 or 6. It can't be 6-ish. We'll go with 6. How about that? And I'm sure Luke's listening, and I'm sure there's going to be a record broken. He says he's going to stay up. Every time that I talk to him about this, I'm going to stay up. There's going to be no pictures. We get pictures of Brad with cans on his head. But I think with everything this weekend, we talk about racing and the COVID restrictions and rain, cancellation, everything you want to doom and gloom. I think I'm looking forward to more of the pictures from Saturday night than I am anything else. I don't know about you.
I got to be careful because I'm usually one of the ones that falls asleep beside the fire. So, I got to be careful.
I'm sure Alicia will keep us updated. Dylan, what do you have on social? Because I see some things rolling in here.
We got him rolling in now. We get the Iron Man, Drew McKeckern, watching, and he wrote, hope to see Ryan on some East Coast mini stock tour races this summer when we get going again. I mean, COVID has wrecked everything. It's wrecked their schedule a little bit, but originally, Ryan, was there any races on that schedule that you were kind of eyeballing thinking, should I make the trek to here or there?
I wanted to do the Petty one, trying to save up money for Hans. Other than that, the car's good to go. It's just having the Hans for the race. I was going to see about maybe borrowing one from a fellow I know. It's kind of up in there, I guess. Really wanted to get that one Petty, but I don't know whether that'll happen now or not. But we'll play it by ear.
Jordan Vino's watching. He's getting ready for an upcoming pro stock season in whatever way we get in there. But he wrote, if borders open up and you can travel, would you think about doing the road course race with the East Coast Mini Stock Tour at Atlantic Motorsports Park?
That would be really entertaining. I actually talked with Alicia about maybe doing it. It all basically falls on having the Hans for it and the money, of course. She might be she's my chief financial officer, so she's in charge of that part of it. I have a wish list, and she has the payment list, so sometimes they clash.
Very wise, though. Adam Hiscock's still watching. He wrote, after your experience in 4 cylinders, is there any other type of cars you'd like to try?
I'd love to do street stock, but to relearn and do it all, to start from scratch again, I'm 41, I don't feel like starting from scratch again. So I'll probably stick out with the minis there for a while longer, and then either might work at the track or something. I'll probably migrate that way, maybe help out the track or do something along that lines once I give up mini racing.
Tim Denver got on the typing machine.
Okay. That's
left a couple of comments for Ryan.
Yeah.
A couple questions too. He wrote, who's the toughest driver to race against? He threw out J.R. Lawson, Dave Matthews, Rob Poirier. Those are some heavy hitters in mini stocks. Is there anyone else that's a tough guy or gal to get around the track?
Rob's probably the toughest guy to get around and race around. Like I find our cars are pretty equal. Like he don't mind fighting for his position, and I respect that totally. Like he fights for it. I don't know. Harley's hard to get around. He fights hard. Harley Hornish there. Yeah, there's a lot of guys, really. Everybody fights for their spot.
Denver's also wondering, did you expect to find success so fast with the new car? I mean, cranked out a win pretty quick in it.
Yeah, it actually surprised me. I figured I'd be working out bugs for half the summer, and it actually kind of went backwards. It came out of the gate running really good, and then I battled some issues throughout the summer. Some of it was stupid issues, so it kind of went backwards from the way I thought it was going to go, but I'll take it.
Well, it's super cool too, Ryan, because like I mentioned on the broadcast a year ago, we don't see too many Toyotas in the 4-cylinder division. Here in Nova Scotia, we're kind of seeing some Mazda 5s mixed in here and there, but it's still your Hondas, the Acuras, Cavaliers, Sunfires. How cool is it that you're one of the guys that's branching out to a different make here for 4 cylinders?
In all honesty, when I started with the Corolla and realized how big of a learning curve there was going to be to it, I was like, man, is this car going to be fast enough to even come close to competing? And I was on the fence after the first season. I was like, man, should I make the switch to Honda or not? And then I was like, no, I'm too stubborn to learn something new, so I'll stick it out and try to make this thing fast. And it come along good. So I was really glad I stuck with it. At first, it didn't look too good, but I'm really glad I just stuck with it and figured things out. And now I got something different from everybody else, and it's an eye catcher. Like somebody's always looking, hey, look, it's something different. And no, I kind of like that part of it. I see there's a few Toyotas up in Miramichi now, and there's a few starting to branch out and try to find other things. The Hondas are starting to get hard to find now, so. So, and everybody's got them pretty well dialed in. So you'd have to really be on your A game and learn quick.
When do you get the Toyota Racing Development deal?
Be nice to have it right now. We'll have to work on that.
Hit up Joe Gibbs, see if he can squeeze in there. Is your car nicknamed the Mistress?
Mistress 2.
Mistress 2.
Yeah, the Corolla was the Mistress. She was the original.
I can kind of guess what the inspiration of the name is, but tell us, what's the inspiration of the name?
Well, the Alicia actually said I was spending more time and money on her than I was Alicia, so that kind of went in that direction from there.
Yeah, that's where I kind of figured it was going.
Yeah.
Denver also wrote, Tim, the lights have not flickered yet, but how are we going to know that?
We're not going to know that. He's not on the call, so I guess we're not going to know that. So since Alicia is the chief financial officer, does she factor in any of that vacation, any of that gift, anything that might not have to do with the race car on the race car budget?
I try to run a lot of stuff by her to make sure it's okay, buying parts and stuff like that, and we got a good relationship that way. And sometimes I buy a couple extra parts here and there and ask for forgiveness later, but no, she's really good about it.
I was going to say, there's no like Rock Auto boxes or anything showing up out of nowhere.
No. Unfortunately, I'm not that tech savvy, so I have to go through her to bring the parts home that way.
That's tough. You got to go through the middle woman.
Oh yeah, keeps me on my game that way.
So we roll into Petty on Saturday. What would you be happy with at the end of the day? Kenny had said he feels confident he can get 2 checkered flags. You're obviously not in the same division, so are we going to call the shot now? What would you be happy with at the end of the day on Saturday?
Well, it'd be nice to have at least the top 3. I think I got the car to get it done. Get some stiff competition, like I said. Rob, he's not going to let me away with it. He's going to fight me tooth and nail for it. So it might be another photo finish.
We had Wayne on at the end of the show. We never really talked about championship, but assuming this is all for championship points, you go forward, whatever else. How big is this? We talk about one race not really being the hugest on scale when you talk about an 8 or a 9 race season, but how big is it momentum wise to start out strong at the very first race of the year?
Well, if you're confident with your car right off the get-go, that makes a world of difference. But you also got to be careful that you don't get a little too confident and either tear your stuff up or think, oh, the car's good enough, I'll leave it alone. And you got to be constantly working on it and dialing it in. And that's, I guess, the biggest concern. Just don't get overconfident.
We'll make the last call on social media now. So if you're out there and you want to drop a question, drop a comment for Ryan, be sure to do so we can get it on the air here this evening. And Dylan, I'm looking forward to getting across the border once all this COVID restriction and everything changes. How about you?
Well, IHOP, because ours isn't open yet in Halifax.
I knew that was coming.
We need a sponsor. We need to get some money from them or something. No, I am. I mean, the cool thing about racing is it's a giant family, and getting to know more people like yourself, Ryan, at the racetrack, and the MacKenzies as well. I mean, it's like there's a family across the border in multiple places, and just the racetracks, everyone is different. Everyone, even in Nova Scotia too. I mean, we're getting some drivers to get testing. I know Steven was here earlier. I know he's getting ready to go to Scotia. If not, he's already been there. We've got so many guys and girls just getting ready and getting so antsy. And it just sucks that we're kind of on the hook of everything that's going on. And things are looking better. But I'm fired up to get back to New Brunswick with the Hot Rod Classics too. Speaking of which, oh my goodness, Tyler Hawes' car, it is Hugger Orange. I just saw that on social media. It's beautiful looking. So I'm ready to go to New Brunswick again.
By the way, before you get off that Hugger topic, Tyler Hallahan sent me a render of his car. I'm not allowed to show it, but you're going to be really impressed when you see that 133 car this year. It's going to look good. With this whole season going on, Ryan, let's kind of look forward and kind of see everything with these restrictions. Are you ready when that border opens for those Nova Scotia cars to come on strong? Because you're going to have the home track advantage before they load up and get there, right?
Yeah, we'll have a little time to dial our cars in, so we'll get an advantage for about a race, maybe 2 races, and then they'll be right there again. And if they're not right on anyway, so like the Nova Scotia cars are strong, like there's no doubt about it. Like, man, they make you bring your A game.
You got to do some practicing last weekend. Obviously, no racing the last 2 weeks. Has the itch been stronger these last 2 weeks, knowing that, hey, we were supposed to be on the racetrack, but we couldn't?
Yeah, I was really bummed after the first race got canceled, and then the whole Gary thing got canceled. I was like, oh my goodness, are we gonna be like June or July or like how long is it gonna be before we even get back to the track again? I was like, man, I'm just lucky I got the first one in. Yeah, so it was a big relief when I heard we were going to be going again, minus most of the fans, but that's kind of the bummer part about it. But
we've seen some new drivers start off. Obviously, we had Brandon Campbell a little bit earlier, having some lighthearted fun with him. We had a couple of new cars being built and some new drivers come out last year. If there was any positive about the COVID-19 pandemic, I think we saw some new faces at the racetrack. But kind of looking forward, seeing you were there a couple of years ago, what would you tell those new drivers that are building cars and just starting out in 4-cylinder racing? What kind of advice can you give them?
Try to hook onto somebody that's already been in the division or knows about racing. That was my big downfall out of the gate. It took a lot of learning. Do your research on the car, especially if you branch out for gearing and stuff like that. Maybe people have run certain cars on certain tracks. Do your research before you start building one. It can really make or break your race car and save you a lot of dollars. I got lucky with the one I built and was able to make it work. Some guys aren't so fortunate. They come and the gearing's all wrong and they can't do nothing with it. And yeah, I guess that would probably be the biggest thing. But yeah, definitely get somebody with some knowledge about setting cars up, and it helps out big time. And don't be afraid to ask people. I don't mind giving out advice and tips and what's worked and what hasn't worked for me. Yeah, a lot of guys are like, we're a fun division. Like there's no real big money, so we all try to help each other out. That way we're all up to pace and putting a better show on. So
you mentioned those marketing partners, and I know your CFO is listening, so we don't want to mention or miss any of those sponsors that are on there. But who's on the race car this year? Who makes it happen to get the 46 at the racetrack?
I got lots of help. Bumper to bumper Sussex, long small engine Sussex Ale Works, Sussex Tire. They just came on board this year. I thank them a lot. Tebow's Fencing, Maritime Mini Split, Mini Pump Heat Cleaning, MW Signs. Like Mike Weagle does a phenomenal job, makes the car look awesome with the decals, and I can't thank him enough for that. Probably forgetting somebody. Myco. Man, getting too many sponsors now.
That's a good problem.
That's a good problem to have, yeah.
And the crew that is around, because I know you don't do it alone. Who helps you out at the racetrack?
At the track, I try to pick up Ralph Tebow. He's helped out a few times there. I've had a few different people help out at the track. My cousin Joey there, he wasn't able to make it last year. He's got a lot on the go. And my brother and my buddy Steve there, they helped me out with the car at home there. So at least I got somebody to help me out.
and the friends around the campfire, right?
Oh yeah. They give me tips.
Well, exactly. I guess they're the armchair quarterbacks at the end of the night, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're going to get Luke in a car at some point. He's getting comfortable with that cleanup crew thing.
Well, we had him in one of the Women on Wheels cars there. You're doing some laps there, so he was doing pretty good. He enjoyed himself. So maybe we'll upgrade him into a mini.
You know what? I think we can chat with Barry. He's not necessarily a staff at Miramichi, but when they do that staff race at the end of the year, I think we can probably find Luke a car. A, because we give them one more car on the racetrack, and B, it might bring that ego that Denver Matchett has down just a little bit after he won that last year, that if he has some competition, I think that would be great. I'm game for that. Dylan, Ryan, what do you think?
I think it's a great idea. We'll have to have words with him, see if we make it happen.
Or the merrier. I mean, you just don't want it to become like 1,000 mini stocks on one track. I was just watching the highlights of that race. Man, that just brought back some memories of just going cross-eyed like 10,000 ways, just trying to watch the action. I mean, we knew that JR and Cody were the leaders. Like, we knew that for sure because they pulled right away. But after that, it was just head on a swivel, just trying to see where to look. And I'm just looking at the comment section, Tim, and this just goes back to the family aspect. I mean, we've got Jason Pickles, we've got Haley McMillan here. We got so many people checking in saying they want to race in New Brunswick. They can't wait. You know, the border is going to be insane once they reopen it again, kind of like last year where there was a big wait, but the wait will be worth it when we're all back together again at the track, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at, you mentioned those two names, and I think that's kind of the old guard and the new guard. Not to call Jason Pickles old, but he's been racing since, I think, the early 2000s. And I don't want to date Jason because I'm sure he'll correct me. But there's a guy that's been racing back in the day since Norm Brown was running. He's got 0 on his car this year for Norm. It looks really good this year, by the way. And I know he's looking forward to heading up. One of those new Hondas that we talked about with the older Hondas kind of drying up. And then you got Haley McMillan, who is new to the sport, not necessarily new to the sport because her family's been around it for years. Her father won a Lightning Championship in 2011, 2012 at Scotia. But there's a driver there that's new to this deal. I guess we'll leave it at that. She says once she gets comfortable at Scotia, she'll want to go to Petty. So what's the one tip you can give a new driver that might be comfortable at Scotia or comfortable in Gary or Miramichi, because it's so different? Those racetracks are flat. There's a lot of momentum. What's the biggest note, not giving away all your tricks and tips and everything else, Ryan, but what's the biggest thing you can tell a newcomer that might not necessarily be new to the sport, but maybe new to Petty?
Probably just ask what the track's like, conditions, what you might feel in the turns. Like, I know every track's different, so you gotta know that stuff. Maybe there's some spots to watch for, just any of that stuff. And then it's just a matter of getting down the track and feeling it out after that. But you might get a little tip, like maybe going into one turn's bumpy, maybe there's a dip or something that you don't know about. Just stuff like that. And
by the way, Barry says sure thing. So Dylan, I don't know how many checks we've cashed on this show in the first 18 episodes for Barry, but I think he's going to have to cash in on a couple. Before we let you go, we talked about the demolition deal and how wild it is up there, Ryan. Figure 8 trailer race coming up in a couple of weeks. If you were offered a car to go into that thing, would you? Yes or no?
I think I'd have to pass. I'm getting too old to heal that quick.
There you go. But the mini stock race, no problem, right?
Yeah, I got no problem doing that. But back in my 20s, I probably would have entertained the idea very quickly.
Ryan, this has been a blast. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for taking out some time. Good luck on Saturday, and hope to see you with a checkered flag out the window.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
No problem.
That's Ryan McKnight, driver of the number 46, and he mentioned all his partners that he has on the show or on the car. We want to thank all of our partners that make this deal as big as it is on Tim's Corner, and we kind of teased it a little bit with Kenny MacKenzie Jr. and Sr. that we may have some cameras up there on Saturday. We're just still trying to figure that out. Just a couple of things, dot the T's, cross the I's, talk to Denver, who's not here this evening. But we do have a special guest, Dylan.
We do.
We do. We have the better cousin. Brittany Hoyt is with us.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show. So
Thanks.
this is the first time you've technically been on camera.
You're not wrong.
Technically, yeah. So let's talk about Saturday, because you're not going to be behind the camera. You're going to be a part of the Atlantic Modified Tour.
Yeah.
You're excited for that.
So excited.
What are you most looking forward to with the Modifieds on Saturday?
Just being back at the track. We have lots of new sponsors on this year, lots of new staff. So just kind of working the bugs out and getting ready to go for the season.
We got some new drivers too. Obviously, Michael Savoie made the debut last year, and Miramichi Brody Levesque has had modified experience, but not recently. Obviously, four-cylinder star. What can the fans expect, whether they're in the stands or watching on TCM TV on the on-demand? What can they expect from the modifieds for? I think it's 40 laps this weekend.
I think it's 40 laps. Yeah. They always put on a show. You never know what's going to happen, so it's going to be a good show. That's for sure.
And you picked Doug Matchett.
I did. Douglas is getting back behind the wheel. He got big shoes to fill, I guess. Last time he was at Petty, he won, so he better win again.
Yep. Okay, so you picked Doug, but not Joe. Is Joe ready for Saturday? Is there any reason why you didn't pick the 17?
No, I think Joseph's going to do well. We'll see. We've been working on some other cars. He decided 2 weeks ago that he wanted to start building a new car. So we've been working on that the past couple weekends. So his car has kind of been in the trailer. But he always shows up and he's going to put on a show. So we'll see what happens.
I think it's going to be fun to watch. As we mentioned, Tim's Corner TV, keep an eye on what's going on. We're not completely 100% solid on what we're doing, but I think we got a camera guy and I think we got a producer, and usually that's enough to get a show going. So, Dylan, this has been fun. Brittany, I think, caught half of the interview with Ryan McKnight, but this has been fun. Junior and Senior always put on a great show. Great to have them and catch up with them and Ryan McKnight. And we mentioned Danny Harvey. Danny said he could come on, so maybe we'll get Danny on next week. What do you think?
Well, I think he wrote I'm in, so I don't know if that means he's in for being on the show, but he also mentioned that he is going to be racing a bit this year, so that's pretty cool that Danny's going to be back behind the wheel. But a lot of fun. I mean, great stories and a tour with the MacKenzies, getting to see some cars. So maybe that'll start a trend of some drivers showing off their rides as we really dive in here. And for us fellow Nova Scotians, it was the first day of phase one of the reopening plan. Small businesses, which is so important with racing, and the businesses that support the racetracks and the racers, they can reopen here. And we're having some positivity here, and going to hopefully have some more as we go along. I'm hoping we can get to a racetrack sooner than later. Maybe I can tag along with someone testing or something and get in that way. But hey, you know what? We're going day by day here, and it was a bright sunny day, and hopefully we got more of those coming up here, along with good news around COVID.
Yeah, and we've got some testing to do on the Tim's Corner side of things. Can't let that cat out of the bag yet, but I've been working with some things, been working with some people, and hopefully we'll have some news coming up the pipeline. I know Scotia Speed World announced, I think it was yesterday, the day before, they can have 3 cars at each test now. The price comes down for those drivers, which is always nice to bring the cost down on that deal. And drove by Scotia Speed World yesterday. The East Coast International Pro Stock Tour trailer is rewrapped. It is sitting there on the highway. So if you're going by the 102, it is there. So check that out as well. I was told the pace car was wrapped as well. So if you see that buzzing around Halifax at all, maybe snap a picture or whatever, throw it up there. I haven't seen it yet. So I'm looking forward to getting a shot of that. But as you mentioned, Nova Scotia reopening, New Brunswick doing their thing. Newfoundland, Hanlon Realty 100. 2/3, I think, or half sold out already. I think Mike James had told me before we came on the air. So get your tickets if you're in Newfoundland. Going to be a big weekend. Some great racing last weekend with the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Division I Sportsman, the Bandoleros, the Hobby Stocks, and the Legend Car. It's going to be great. You can listen to us on all the podcasts, your favorite podcast platforms. So if you missed the show or you want to go back and listen to another one, we're missing a couple of episodes, but we're going to get those uploaded at some point. We're still sort of in lockdown, Dylan. We can't really go to a racetrack, so I've got things to do. I've got no excuses. Brittany and them are going to be busy on Saturday, so I've got something to do now. We're
going to watch some road course racing, Mid-Ohio with the Xfinity Series. I love that track. They didn't get there last year. They raced at Road America last year. So first time they're going to be back, and Sonoma, first time for the Cup Series since 2019. So, hey, we're not getting good local racing here, but at least we got some road course racing. Hopefully it shouldn't rain, so right? Hopefully.
Hopefully. And you can listen to some of those races we did last year on the podcast platform, the Mixler feed as well. If you subscribed to Mixler last year, we re-upped that. So all of our races that we did audio-wise from last year are actually still on that platform as well. So you can go back and take a listen at some of those races that we did from Petty Raceway, Speedway 660, Speedway Miramichi, Sydney Speedway as well. It's been great. I want to thank all of our partners that have been a part of this deal. This has been a fun show. Who knows what's going to happen next week? We might have some winners on. We might have some guests that you might not know. I've been talking to a couple, Dylan, and I think we're going to have a good show next week regardless. We were going to have the Brittany and Meredith show, but I think Meredith backed out. Brittany's game to host.
Me and Meredith are a duo, so we're in it together. We're not in it at all, so sorry.
Okay, well, I at least we tried, Dylan. Gold star for us.
Hey, I mean, even Denver doesn't even show up apparently. So
yeah, we got the better cousin though, so that's okay. Be sure to drop us some Facebook stars as well if you haven't already, and you want to tip us. Do we need some food? It's the food that he can't chew, right?
Yeah, it's these like puree yogurt tube things that are filled with tuna. I mean, he can eat normal soft food. I just gotta mash it a little bit.
Yogurt.
Yeah,
that
I know.
Tastes like tuna.
No, it's Yoplait tubes like.
Yeah, I know. So pureed tuna in a tube.
Yeah, exactly. So those are the treats. You can't have like the meow mix. Those treats. Why are we talking about cats? Should I do another cat video next week? I mean, was this kind of the last one here? I mean, we're still kind of in a weird position.
We are still in a weird. Well, that's the easiest thing to say. We're still in a weird position.
How
here
about
in Nova
this?
Scotia.
How about this? I'm gonna keep doing them until we finally get some racing here in Nova Scotia.
Okay, just make sure Ricky Rudd doesn't get hurt this week.
So that means there's going to be Dewey videos for the next 5 years.
Hopefully not.
I hope not either. That's going to do it for us this evening. Want to thank you, Dylan, for coming on. Obviously, the MacKenzies, Ryan McKnight, Brittany for hopping on at the end, Paul Strickland Jr. for hosting this. He's got the Fatheads Cup Series, I believe. Are they still racing on Wednesday night? I know you guys had Memorial Day down there. Yes, maybe, no.
Solid yes.
Solid yes. Oh yes. Yeah. Go see Vidane TV.
Yeah, we got North Wilkesboro tonight, and then we've got the championship race next week at Texas Motor Speedway. So very exciting Fatheads Cup Series coming to a close this season.
Yeah, so head over and check them out at Vidane TV. And obviously Sim 500 is coming back next Monday with Memorial Day. It's kind of throwing us off a little bit of a schedule. But head over there and check out all Sim Racing. If you're still in lockdown, you want something to do, go check out Paul's programming. It's great over there. But that's going to do it for us this evening. For everybody here at Tim's Corner Motorsports, if you're going racing Saturday, stay safe. If you're in lockdown, stay safe as well. Until next time, keep the hammer down. We'll see you at the track.